Hello, everybody. What is up? What's up, y'all? I missed y'all. I truly missed y'all. But guess what? Did someone say that it's an encore show tonight? Well, guess what? It is. Like and share, and let's get this show started. What's up, everybody? This is your boy all the way from the DMV, better known as Thomas Davis, aka Country Grammar, aka whatever it is that you want to call me, long as it's positive and good. I missed you all. I missed you all, and we had to come and do an encore show to let you know that we are still here. We ain't going nowhere. We are here, yo. I am back. I missed you guys, and I cannot wait to get this show started. I am the founder of Move Mountains and Break Barriers. And this show and this platform is only to do this thing. And that is to bring awareness, brings a sense of being able to be who you are, being able to be comfortable and walking into your skin, being able to just say, hey, I am not okay, and be in an atmosphere that is a safe space and a safe place to know that you are not in this alone. And so we are here tonight to have a wonderful show. We are here to bring some positivity on a Sunday. In the DMV, it was sunny yesterday. I woke up this morning, it was sunny. But then right now it's a little bit of clouds going on. So I don't know what's going on with this weather. But we are not going to let the clouds, the rain, steal our joy. We're going to still rock this. We still going to have a great time. Let us know that you are here. Like and share this broadcast. Like and share this broadcast. All right, so I want to bring some attention to a few things, and we're gonna hop right into it. First thing I want us to do is, if you would like to stay in touch with us, I would like for you to text the word talk, TALK, to 844-549-1369. Again, that number is 844-549-1369. You can text the word talk, TALK, and you will be able to receive upcoming shows because season 2 is coming up, y'all. I'm telling you, limitless possibilities, Thomas Davis. We are making some moves, and you do not want to miss out on anything. All right, so also we want you to use some hashtags tonight. Some hashtags are as follows. Hashtags are as follows. Women matter. Hashtag women matter. Hashtag I matter. Hashtag mental health matters. Hashtag all life matters. Lottie-dottie and everybody. Hashtag Mother's Day. Hashtag self-care. We are excited tonight that we are going to be celebrating Teachers Appreciation Month. Shout out to our educators. Shout out to our educators in the house tonight. We're going to be celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you, teachers. We appreciate what you do. We are going to be celebrating Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And lastly, we are going to shout out the class of 2021. Woo, woo, woo. You guys have made it through a year of uncertainty. You guys have made it. You guys embody a poem that says, don't quit. Because when life goes wrong, as they sometimes will, but I'm going to fast forward and say, rest assured, but you did not quit. So shout out to our graduates. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to our seniors. If you are on tonight and you are graduating from undergrad, graduate, PhD, graduating from anything, let us know that you are here so we can so we can shout you out. All right, look, I said I wasn't going to do a lot of talking tonight, and I'm not. I promise you I'm not. But I want to do a disclaimer. And the reason why I am doing this disclaimer is to let you know that as a licensed professional counselor, I am ethical, and I also want to make sure that what you are hearing is what it is. So the disclaimer is about to pop up on the screen right now, and I'm gonna get into my character voice. This show represents the opinions of the host and the guest. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. This show is only for informational purposes, and in the need that you find yourself being in distress, please contact your healthcare professional. What do you say about that, y'all? We got to make sure that we're setting some ground rules before we go into this discussion. Told y'all season 2 coming back stronger. We just giving you a little bit at a time. All right. Okay. Before I go on, I have a special guest with us tonight. This special guest is a person that has been very close to me for over 41 years of age. Lord have mercy. I see you, Largo. What's up, Miss Lindsay Washington? Thank you so much for watching us tonight. Thank you. So back to this special guest. This special guest I have known for 41 years of life, through some good, some not so good, through some times I didn't want to hear something. She's been there for me. She's been a rock. She's been a supporter. She's been a motivator. She's been a life coach. She's a business partner. She's also have been very supportive through me as I'm learning this thing called life. And one thing I want to say to my listening audience, point number 1, never become too old that you can't listen. So without further ado, I want to bring on my mother, Mrs. Penny Davis.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing tonight?
Well, hello there. How are you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I wanted to bring you on, not just as my mother, but you have also been very supportive, working behind the scenes, doing a lot of work as it relates to limitless possibilities and just being a mother. So I wanted to bring you on so the world can see that because of you and the things that you continue to do is making me the person that I am each day, which is better and better before. So thank you, Mom.
I appreciate the invitation. Looking forward to the conversation. It should be a good one tonight.
So happy Mother's Day again.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate everything you did for me. And our lunch out date was wonderful. I'm still reminiscing about that. We had a great time. So I appreciate you and love you to the moon and back.
You know what the funny thing is? There was a lot of commentary that I received when we both was holding up our Chanel bags. They was like, "Oh, we know where all of the money is. The money don't reside here. The money is not residing."
I can promise you, it's not in Eden, North Carolina either. Between you and my significant other, I had a little extra change, but it does not reside in Eden. So we had a great time. So
we did. All right, thank you so much. So my mom, you all, is going to be on tonight. She's going to be helping me navigate through this show. This is her first time being a co-host, y'all. So let's see how she do. She didn't know I was going to have her on doing all of this. I see you, Mr. Horace Beck. He says, "Go Penny, go," and I know he was going to say something. That's her special someone, y'all. We know he had to say something. What's up, Horace? Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, y'all. So speaking of Mother's Day, I want to bring on another guest tonight. This particular young lady, she owns her own business. I'm rocking one of her designs that she has made for me. And if I can show you, the shirt says, "It does not matter where you start, just start." What do we say about that, audience? It don't matter how late it takes you, how long it takes you to get to where you're going. You have to start somewhere. This young lady owns her own company called Theme by Design. She's a mother. She works in education. She supports all of our educators, our schools. She does a lot, y'all, and she never complains. And what you see in her is what you're going to get. So let's bring on Miss Tia Simmons. Hi, Miss Simmons.
Hello, Miss Tia.
What's up, fam? Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Back at you.
I see you rocking your theme by Design Colors.
Black, pink, and white is how you live your life every single day.
Ooh, I see that. Toretta says, hi, Mom Penny.
Hello, Toretta. Miss you.
All right. So, Miss Simmons, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, blessed, and favored. Thank you for asking, and thank you for having me on your show.
Awesome. Are you ready for tonight?
I'm ready. I've been ready all day.
Let's do this. All right. So our next guest, this young man, he may call me a stalker at the end of the show, but this young man is a great entrepreneur as well. Yo, if you don't notice, we have a lot of entrepreneurs in the house tonight. This brother is a great brother, and how I know that is because A, he's a man of alpha. B, he talks to us about how it is important for us to breathe. To breathe. Sometimes in life, y'all, all we got to do is just take a breath.
That's it.
So without further ado, I'm going to let him talk about it. I just gave y'all the start of his company. He going to give y'all the rest later on in the show. But without further ado, let me bring in the house, Mr. Derek. Come in the house, sir. What's up?
That's Pratt. I appreciate
it. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
All right. Are you ready for the show tonight?
I am absolutely ready. Thank you, Tom.
Let's hit it.
I'm ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're about to have some fun. All right, y'all. This special guest that is on tonight, she's back in the back blushing, y'all, already, and I ain't said a word. This young lady is one of Limitless Possibilities staff. She is a therapist. She's a mother. She loves her job. And when we interviewed, she was just like, yo, I'm ready. I'm telling her business right now, and she gonna get me on tomorrow when she called. But when I interviewed her, I just told her about the passion of Limitless. We have to think limitless. We have to become limitless. We have to do things outside the box. And we can't allow obstacles to prevent us from going that extra mile to get what we want. So I want to bring on my staff person, my teammate, my therapist, Miss Smith. Come in the house, Miss Smith.
Hi, Mr. Davis.
You ain't gotta call me Mr. Davis. Call me Thomas. Let the people know we ain't that formal.
Good evening, Ms. Smith. I would like to say when he forwarded me your resume, I was like, "Yep, she's good. She's good."
Ooh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Yes, I read.
Are you ready, Ms. Smith?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay, let's do this. All right, we're gonna bring in another great friend of mine. Like I said, he's an educator by trade, by profession. He is also an administrator, but he's a therapist by heart. Mr. Dwayne Elvis, come in the house. Hey, Dwayne, what's up, frat?
Good evening. Good evening.
How you doing?
Good evening.
No complaints here.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's bring in another entrepreneur. This brother has sat on many platforms of move mountains and break barriers, and I could have not had him on. I want to bring on the show right now, Mr. Justin Leach. Come in the house, my brother. What's up, Justin?
All right, how you doing? How's everybody?
Wonderful.
Everybody's good.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, how are you?
Well,
Yo, Justin's my homie. Justin is my homie. Everybody on here are my peoples. All right, y'all. Let's get this show started. So we're gonna focus on mothers right quick, because we just celebrated Mother's Day. And the question that goes is going to go to Miss Simmons. And the question that I want to ask you, Miss Simmons, is why do we celebrate Mother's Day?
Why not?
Good answer.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Why not?
You're right. You're right.
Honestly, I think over time, we've come as a people to really appreciate the time and energy that it takes to be a mother. It is something that is definitely underestimated a lot of times. And even thinking about your question before the show started, I thought back to what I posted on Mother's Day, and my shirt that's actually in the picture, that I did not anticipate the strength it would take to be a mom. Even though I had friends as mom, I had my own mothers in my life, until I stepped into those shoes. And so there's a lot that goes into that. And so I think it's just a great opportunity to celebrate and honor women who are mothers, who are mother figures to other individuals, and those who contribute and share love to just help equip and grow those that are within their circle.
So that's the why not, huh?
That's the why not. That's a snippet. I ain't even give you all of it yet.
You went gangster. All right, so Miss Smith, talk to us real quick, sweetheart. Why do we celebrate Mother's Day?
Look, I love the immediate response of why not, because it has to happen.
Fellas, I need y'all to have my back tonight, y'all.
But I think it's just really that time to just stop and not only to be appreciated, but to just pat yourself on the back as well. The same thing when it comes down to Father's Day and Grandparents' Day and everybody else's day. We often talk about giving people their roses while they can still smell them. And I think that mothers, we have a big job. My son is young. He's only 7 months, but over this time, I've learned so much about myself and just the strength of being a mother, mentally, emotionally, and physically, because he's getting fat too. But I think that's why we celebrate. We have to be celebrated. And there are mothers that lose children, and we need to remember to hug on those individuals.
Yeah.
As well.
Right.
Very
That's
true.
good. That's good. That's good. Miss Penny Davis, would you want to chime in real quick? Why do we celebrate Mother's Day?
Sure. I feel like it's not so much of celebrating your mother as it is in honoring her, because a lot of times, a lot of mothers that I know of, they don't get a happy Mother's Day or thank you for what all you've done. And you don't have to physically be a mother. You can be an aunt, you can be a sister, you can just be in that mother role model. And it's just good to know that you appreciate it. Because so many times a lot of mothers feel unappreciated, and that's not good.
Okay. Thank y'all so much for sharing. Fellas, I don't want to leave y'all off. Do y'all want to chime in?
I mean, I would simply say because they're the foundation as to why we're here anyway. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is, like, from day one, they're the ones that nurtured, along with the fathers, but mostly the mothers. You're gonna build, as far as even with a son, like, you're gonna have that relationship with your mother. I did. When my mother was alive, and that foundation, that relationship I had with her for those 30 some odd years, I would, she was here, were things that I took with me and applied to everyday life. So why not, like you said, why not celebrate Mother's Day? They're the reason you're the person that you become.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. And sometimes it's not always about the gifts. It's not always about just trying to shower them with, physical things. You got to be present. Say, hey, Mom, I love you. Hug your mom. Send your caregiver a note, because sometimes they need a pick-me-up as well, because they do carry a lot of weight, WEIGHT, that we sometimes don't know about. So thank you, ladies, so much for sharing with us. I want to start with you, Miss Smith. As we just gotten over Mother's Day, one of the things I do want to say real quick, prayers to those who have lost moms, aunties, cousins, ladies. this year due to the pandemic. So I do want to be very sensitive and be very respectful to that. Shout out and honor to those who have lost loved ones during this time. I know it was hard to see someone wake up this year knowing that their parent or loved one was not here because of COVID, because of losing their lives. So my heart is out. Our hearts are out to each and every one of you. So what is a special moment, Miss Smith, that you can recall that you had as a mother or have as a mother?
So I mentioned my son is young. So this was my first Mother's Day with him here. I was celebrated last year, even though he wasn't here yet, but his dad still celebrated with me last year. But so what we did this year, my family came together and kind of put together a dinner and got my son dressed in the suspenders and the bow tie and took me out to dinner. So that was a really special moment that I had for Mother's Day, but also being able to spend time with my mother, to have her just continue to pour into me and teach me. So, just motherly advice, motherly things that I couldn't read in a book, or, it's just sometimes that feeling that you get of just genuine love. So the ability to be in a room with my mother and my son was such an honor for me this past Mother's Day. That was my special.
Awesome.
Those are my special moments.
And happy Mother's Day again.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Simmons, talk to us.
Ooh, you know what? Every day is special to me. And I know it sounds cliche-ish, but being home and being present, more present with my children this year throughout the pandemic, with them learning virtually at home and being able to see more of them every day than just, getting them dressed, shooing them out the door, putting food in their mouth and sending them to school. I realized the importance of being present with them every single day and how much I took that for granted previously when we were in the hustle and bustle of just trying to get through day by day. So it sounds a little cliche-ish, but every day, every opportunity now that I have a chance to talk to them, just random conversations, or sit down and play dolls with my daughter, or talk or try to understand video games with my son. I don't know. I don't speak video sometimes, but just trying to engage them and give them more time and attention. And when we have those moments where we connect and we're talking, and I can see that they're like, oh yes, she's listening, and we're engaged. Those are special for me because they come few and far in between the older they get, because they end up going with their own lives. So every day tends to be special now, because I get a chance to be more present with them.
Shout out, ladies. There we go. Shout out, ladies. Y'all are killing it tonight. Miss Davis, anything that you want to talk about as a special moment? And Ma, don't embarrass me tonight.
Do it, Ma. Do it. Do it. I'm here for it.
Okay. I'll try my best not to embarrass you, but honestly, there have been so many special occasions with you. We've had 41 years together, so I could not begin.
Don't tell my age.
Well, you told it at the beginning of the show.
You told it.
I'm confirming it.
Okay,
but anyway,
go ahead.
I think one thing was when I was listening to the other mothers that came to my mind is we were at an Alpha event. And for those of you that know me, I'm very present in my son's life. He's always included me in everything he's done. We were at this, I think it was called Ice something. It was, I can't remember exactly. But he was
Black Ice.
Excuse me?
It was a Black Ice event.
Black Ice event, and he was being awarded something, and he got up and he was just thanking all of the high dignitaries that was there, and this person and that person. I was just sitting there thinking, okay, I have really made a great impact on him, and I'm very proud of him. And then he recognized me. I was not expecting it, but it just did something to me to let me know that regardless of where he finds himself in life, he always remember that I am his mom, and he gives me that recognition. So I don't wait until the second Sunday in May, because this child of mine is always recognized and celebrated me 365 days a year. So I do appreciate that. That's one fond memory that I will always have.
Oh, that was so sweet.
You did a good job, Mama. Good job.
All right.
I think he's having us practice read lips.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Anybody catch that?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, technology, y'all. Blame Xfinity. Right, y'all. For one of the guys,
Pay your bill. Pay your bill.
Right. Who want to jump in real quick and talk about a moment that they have had with their mom? One of the fellas.
I think my biggest moment with my mother was hugging her when I graduated from college, and when I got married. Because those were two things that we always talked about, when I was a kid, especially the college part. So the fact that I got to hold a degree up in the air and see her in the stands and see her proud of me doing that was an accomplishment just by itself.
Right.
And especially on the day I got married, being able for her to be there and see that as well.
Right.
That was a bigger, that was something I won't ever forget either.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, y'all. We're going to jump right into the next segment, and we're going to talk about our educators. Now, we're going to spend our time on this education piece because our educators have been on the ground since the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, but during the pandemic, when everything shut down, teachers had to learn Zoom. They had to learn Nearpod. They had to be on a conference. They had to figure out how to navigate. They had to expect the unexpected. Hence, my microphone. We had to understand that life would throw you some curveballs, but you got to keep it moving. So we want to shout out all of our educators. We want to appreciate them. We thank you for everything that you do for our youth, our young adults, and in some cases, our adults. So let's hop right into the first question. And I want to start with Justin. Why do we celebrate teachers in the month of May? Why is teacher appreciation so important?
It's a big job. I mean, you wear so many hats every single day, Monday through Friday, even on the weekends, depending on, the job itself. And not to mention, I mean, we're mentors, we're, counselors, we're trying to be friends at the same time, as well as, teaching you about life choices and things you need to know in the classroom. So the ones that get up every day at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning just to make it to work to teach kids all day long. I mean, you need to appreciate those type of people. It takes a special person to do that.
Right. Thank you so much. To my other educator, Dwayne, why are educators so valuable? Like, why do we value our educators?
I think we value them so much because educators are trusted with parents' precious cargo. Parents trust their teachers and their schools with their children. They trust them to teach them things to help them grow, help them become better than what they are, because it's every parent's hope that their child is going to be a better version of themselves. And so they have to entrust the teachers and the educators around them to do that job. And it's a real honor to be an educator, because that means, and it's humbling, that you have that much trust in me that you are going to let me take care of your precious cargo.
Wow. Precious cargo. Wow.
Great answer.
That is amazing.
Can I expand on that question just a little bit? As far as with your educators, have you found it more difficult doing it Zoom or in the classrooms? And what are your obstacles?
Well, for me, I know I haven't had any obstacles, honestly, because I look at it as just being on the computer, doing anything else. I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but I just know for me, when we first started, it was a big change because it was something I haven't done before. But I mean, once you learn it a couple of times and learn the ins and outs, it wasn't that big of a change in your in your everyday life. I mean, currently right now, I just went back into the building back in March. And I'm basically doing the same exact thing that I would be doing here at home. So there I think the only obstacle for me was I just had to switch out computers because it was just difficult to work with what I had. But once I got that taken care of, it was smooth sailing after that.
I think for myself, the only thing it really showed me was social disparity. When it showed me the social disparities of our students, it made me truly appreciate what a safe haven a school building is.
Right.
When you actually look at it, I work in a school with a lot of English language learners. So their parents are not familiar with technology and all this stuff with technology. I think one of the saddest things I saw was I was in a meeting with doing an observation for a teacher, and the little girl had an actual live chicken behind her as she was trying to learn, and the distractions of it. So that was something that we really got to see. We got to really see how we provide a safe haven for our students.
Wow, that's good.
I think to add to that, the community of educators has grown tighter. Like we all had to buckle down and just do it. And kind of to Justin's point, like you get up and you do it. You learn it, you try it a few times, you stumble, and then you just figure it out,
Right.
And so I think having gone through this experience in the past year, it's really allowed that community to kind of get tighter and to really realize what an impact that educators make on the world. Much like mothers, you got to have a teacher. Someone has to teach you, and so those educators, they put their time in. I work with teachers, and I got to see firsthand the struggles and got to be there as a part of, encouragement for them to even just listen to some of them as they try to balance it all and just kind of figure it all out. But definitely just seeing how the community got closer, and because of that closeness, we were really able to persevere in a time that was just challenging.
I just need to give one shout out to Miss Simmons and her team. Miss Simmons works for the same school district I do. And I had the opportunity to, when we were unpacking everything for the pandemic, her team was so smooth with it. And it was not pretty. I'm going to just tell you now, those meetings and those Zoom meetings were not pretty when we first got into the distance learning platform. And I can say, administrators, we are not the best people to give.
No.
Administrators are not the best people to give feedback to because we got 50 million questions. But the one thing I can say is that although they're not in the school building with us, they had the same care. And they were very passionate to make sure that our teachers were taken care of and that we were taken care of. And most importantly, our kids were taken care of. Because in the front line, when we didn't know anything about the pandemic, it was her office, along with some of us administrators, who were out there making sure that we were going to people's houses, making sure they were connected, risking ourselves and risking their selves. And we didn't know anything about COVID.
Right.
And so I just have to give kudos to Ms. Simmons and her department on all the work they do. They're just as important as those people in the building.
Love you back away.
I would say one more thing too. It kind of opened up the eyes to the parents as well. And it let them actually get a inside look as to how hard this job actually is. It's not an easy thing to do. You know, just because we're going to a building for 8 hours and we're just talking, it's a mental thing as well, you know, because we have to classroom structure, management, even on Zoom, mentally preparing yourself for that day because you never know what's going to happen when you go on especially on camera nowadays. So you have to mentally prepare yourself for that, and just the long days that it takes to, you know, prepare a lesson hour by hour and be able to execute and they get something out of it. and kind of also holding parents responsible to making sure that their kids do their work.
Wow.
I can agree with that. Parents have a much more higher value for you teachers than what they used to. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could add on, as a person that is in administration, the parents are ready for the kids to come back into the building because they are tired of being the teacher, the dean, the social worker, trying to figure out the Zoom links. They are tired. All right, Miss Wendy says there is a lack of respect between parents and teachers. There was a lack of respect between parents and teachers before COVID-19. Now there is a much better understanding.
Yes,
much better balance. I love that. Thank you, Wendy, for tuning in, and thank you so much for watching. Y'all, so let me just stop right here and say this. So someone asked me, what are you going to talk about tonight? So I gave them the theme, awareness of different cultures, mental health awareness, all of that. That's what time was. Why are you going to talk about all these different topics on one show? That's a little bit much. In reality, you all have just said it, because every aspect that we are talking about tonight is focusing on awareness, because we have to be aware that we have to love our mom, right? We have to be aware that we need to appreciate our educators. We have to be aware of our mental and emotional state. And we also have to be aware of our cultural, because people are not being sensitive to different cultures. We'll go into that discussion next. But we got to be aware. Ms. Simmons said something about building a community. We have to have a community in all aspects of what we're talking about. So this show tonight is to show you how we could take celebrations and tie it all in together. So for those who wanted to know why was I covering so much, this is why. Because we got to stop operating in silos and start working together and start connecting those dots and those hot topics. So that's why we are doing this show on tonight. Wendy, I love you. I know you're tired, but hey, according to the CDC, we're going back in the building. So you pray for us, educators, that we stay safe. All right? All right. So speaking of cultures, we want to talk about why is it so important for us to be culturally aware and culturally sensitive. And I want us to really talk about this because we know what's going on with the Asian hate. We know what's going on in the world, period. We also know what's going on to us as African Americans. So what are your thoughts? And I'm going to start with Dwayne to give us, what are your thoughts about the importance of being culturally aware? Then I'm going to tag in my homeboy Derek, and then I'm going to ask Miss Smith to chime in as well. So start with you, Brother Edwards. What are your thoughts about the importance of being culturally aware? I think you're on mute.
He has the mute bug now.
I'm sorry about that. That was my fault. But when we were in the pandemic, we were forced to be still. And when you're forced to be still, you got a lot of things that are revealed to you. And we saw through a lot of things through our television that there were some things that weren't right.
Right.
Being culturally aware makes you understand that we need to figure out how we can coexist with one another. Right. It's almost like how you got to coexist with your neighbors, how you got to coexist with your classmates and coworkers. But we as people just need to learn how to coexist, understand what our microaggressions are, what are our cultural bias, understand what makes us the same, and what are the differences. But when you really look at it, if you really take time, have good conversations, courageous conversations, you have more similarities than differences. And that lack of respect is the one thing that truly kind of gives us that difference. But we have to have those conversations. And it took us to go through this pandemic. It took some very sad and traumatizing events to get those conversations started. But I'm glad that those conversations are beginning and being held.
Wow, that is powerful. And the reason why I asked you to chime in, Derek, is because it's very important during these times for us to breathe and embrace those things, right? So when things are happening, which is what Mr. Edwards just stated, why is it important for us to be aware of our surroundings? And what is something that you would share to someone that's watching that they could do to be more sensitive to others?
Yeah, thanks for giving me that question, Thomas. I think it's important mainly because it's the backbone and the foundation of humanity, right? And so having that ability to be empathetic, to listen, to understand values, maybe that's not your your particular value or particular way of living, but it's the meaning of connectivity from one person to another person. And so in that and from that space, part of it is honestly just listening.
Right.
I've been in this world of working in corporate America, and you have these companies who are trying to change the model and be more aware of their Black and brown and now even Asian employees. And a large issue that it was a boundary was the lack of listening and the lack of being empathetic and understanding who I am as an individual versus who you are as an individual. So cultural awareness is important because, I mean, as I stated previously, it really is the foundation of pure humanity, of just simple values: love, peace, joy, understanding, listening, and really understanding that the world is created with many different strokes of a color. And so it's a beautiful place when you have these many strokes of this vibrant colors, but understanding that a color might not be you, and that's okay. But really honing in on it's important to have that world and to listen to others.
I love how you strategically painted that picture and you add the words, colors, and shades. I love that. That was phenomenal. Wow. I told y'all we are having a good time tonight. Oh, okay. All right. So Thomas, just hold it together because we got some more time. Miss Smith, you want to chime in?
Yep, I would love to. So, one word that was mentioned was empathy. Just as a therapist, empathy is just kind of the root of what we do. Um, but being culturally aware as an educator, as a therapist, as just someone in corporate America, you have to know how to support a person. And if you don't understand culturally where they come from, what their beliefs are, things that may be sensitive to them, we lack the ability to truly provide support or just simple understanding and respect. Um, so the awareness is really important. I believe it was Mr. Edwards that mentioned, there was a student with a chicken in the background, a live chicken in the background. If it wasn't someone that had the capacity to be aware culturally, they would probably think, "Oh my goodness, this isn't safe. That's unsanitary." Da 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 da. But being culturally aware that in that household, in that family, in that culture, is actually very normal. It's nothing abnormal about it, and that person doesn't have to be, doesn't have to feel misunderstood. It's something that doesn't need to be focused on. Someone. At the end of the day, I think the lack of cultural awareness, the absence of it is ignorance. And unfortunately, we see that a lot. But in this day and age, it's so easy to just pop on a Netflix series for a minute, or I don't know how many people still read books. I love reading books, but read a book. Go on the internet. You can type in a hashtag and learn about a culture just by strolling through. It's really easy. Just to be aware.
Right. So if I'm hearing you correctly, stop hashtagging ratchet stuff and hashtag something that we can learn about.
Something that matters. If once a week, one person doing that to empower another is going to make huge changes. Move mountains and break some barriers.
Ooh. All right, you better stop. All right, y'all. So look, one of the things that I really believe in as a person on screen, off screen, we got to have that positivity in our life. We got to be positive even when we don't see things happening the way that we want it to happen. At the end of the day, a life lesson, I don't like the word mistake. So people that are watching, let's take that negative word out. Mistakes are life lessons. We all can learn to be better at everything that we do. So, Derek, I'm gonna bring you back on real quick. If you can come on the screen with me right quick, so we can talk about this real quick. It's important for us to be positive, right? As individuals who are on the screen, who are off the screen, who are doing the work that we do, who are present, who are doing Facebook Lives. When we come on a show, we want people to leave our show feeling like that we are leaving them with jewels and knowledge. We want them to leave better than how they arrived. So, Derek, I want to ask you a question. If you could tell us what breathe and embrace mean, and also tell us why should we be positive?
Taking myself on mute. Real quick background story. So I have major depression disorder. And so in 2019 was a rough year for me. Just trying to figure out and navigate depression. Fast forward and rather to a couple of years later, I started a mental health blog website, Breathe and Embrace, because it really wasn't until, yes, I have help from licensed professional counselors and my psychiatrist, but it really wasn't until I learned the beauty of just living. And so for me, breathing is breathing life, but also embracing living. And so having that understanding that you're here, that you're alive, there's more that God will want of you and from you. And so why not step into that? And so because of my journey in mental health, it just, for me, it's really just sharing the word that there is hope, there is help, and there is a foundation for you in your mental health process and journey. And for being positive, it's so important to be positive, right? Because it really is, the tenet in which you're able to really thrive and really grow and really nurture yourself. And so it's important, you'll have those dark moments, those deep moments where you're finding yourself struggling, but flip it, turn it. I might have depression, but depression is not me. So because depression is not me, and because I don't embody depression, it's just something that I have to deal with. How about turn it into a positive, remaining positive, so you can push forward, so you can move forward. And I think that's important for anyone in their mental health or emotional journey, Thomas.
I really appreciate you sharing your personal story, because you may have touched, I don't know how many watchers we have, I haven't heard him say, but if it's only one person that you impacted by being transparent, that was amazing, because a lot of African American men, it's sad to say, don't want anybody to know that they struggle with depression. But I think at some point in everybody's life, whether it's financial, personal, emotional, whichever the case may be, struggle from depression. We just not brave enough to admit it. So I really do appreciate you sharing that with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just say this. It takes a strong person that is resilient. And Derek, I'm talking directly to you right now. You are resilient. You are brave. You did not let what is currently a part of who you are become who you are. And I want to say from my mouth to your ears, you are resilient, because you are on a platform with a bunch of strangers that you don't know from a can of paint, but you was confident enough to come on here and say, this is who I am, but this is not where I'm going. And I want you to know that you are brave. You are more brave than anybody that I know at this point, because it takes somebody of courage. It takes somebody to recognize that I may be dealing with this situation, but I'm not going to let this situation define me. So if I can define you, and if I can tell you anything right now as a therapist, you are resilient, and don't lose that. And when people want to keep you in bondage and look at you and keep you down, it's time for you to let them go. And that's what this show is about, moving those mountains and break those barriers. You just solidified why I'm on this platform, because it is important to let people know that people that look like you, walk like you, sit beside you every day, they are going through the same thing as you, but they are not brave enough to say, hey, I'm here too.
Absolutely.
Because there was a moment in time in my life that I didn't know where I wanted to go, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to become. And I suffered in silence because of their pride. But I had to realize at a later age that it was time for me to stop keeping what I was dealing with on the inside and go and see a therapist. So to my therapists that are watching, I am honest enough to say on this platform, I go see a therapist because we as therapists, we take a lot in. And we have to find a way to let it out. So I want to say to you, man, thank you so much. Me and you are about to connect.
Yes,
you
sir.
are getting some shots out in this chat. I see a lot of hand claps. I see a lot of hearts because people want to hear that. If people are going to be scrolling on social media tonight, they want to hear something, and you just solidified it.
Yes.
So I thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I want to ask Dwayne. Let's stay here for a little bit because I don't got off topic, but that's fine too. Why is it important for us to be positive? And I'm going to add an extra question on, and I want everyone to chime in. Why should we be positive, and why should we not judge what we think that we see?
I think we should be positive, and Derek gives the great example because we can control our situation. At the end of the day, we can either wallow in what makes us brings us down, or we can actually throw it in the trash and just keep on moving. We can create the zones that we want, and we just need to take ownership of it. I don't think any one of us want to be in any type of bad situation. So we're going to get through it. We're going to make our way through it. And as my grandmother say, nobody really wants to sit through hell. You might as well just walk in it and do the right thing. So, so we're going to keep on trying to walk. It might not be an easy walk, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there, take the bull by the horns, and we're going to get to something that's going to lead us to our happiness.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. Ms. Smith, chime in for me. Chime in.
You know I'm ready. Look, so one of my favorite things when it comes to just remaining positive that I often share with clients is just the self-fulfilling prophecies. When you wake up in the morning and you might not feel like it, but you put that positive attitude on, you put that positive hat on, you're going to just exude that kind of energy throughout the day. I can't tell you how many times I've been in the office and been stressed. I mean, stressed, busy, work overload. But if somebody walks into my office, it's straight positivity and it changes their day. It becomes infectious. So you just never know what someone else needs, but also negative energy is just not the way to go. It brings you down. It brings everyone else down, but remaining positive, it just gives a better outlook on life. You talk better, you act better, people like you a little bit more.
Right. Thank you so much. Justin, talk to me real quick, Justin.
I was just saying, just like this, it's your story, and you have the opportunity to change it, however you want to change it. Just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean it has to end that way. You know, it's your choice. We're put on this earth to make decisions throughout life. How you live it is how it's going to be. Day by day. Like I've said before many times, you got 365 days to get it right.
Correct.
And how you choose to do that is on you. And like you say, it may be one of those days where you just can't handle life. But I feel like if you sit there and just think that, hey, this is my life and I choose what I do with it.
Right.
That positivity will come out of you and it'll just exude to not only throughout everybody else, but through you as well, which will make you want to be positive each and every day.
Thank you, Justin. And if I'm hearing you correctly, it's all about controlling your own narrative. Thank you so much. Tia, talk to me because I know that you got something to say over there.
How you know?
I'm ready.
You know what? Honestly, you never know who's watching. Like I constantly think about we've been talking about community and just being involved with other people. You never know who is watching you. And so your negativity definitely can bring down, kind of like Ms. Smith said earlier, bring down others. Like,
right.
You're becoming a cancer for them, almost a sickness, by putting your negativity into their space. And, just even from the eyes of a mom, some days I have to catch myself, because my kids are watching, and then I turn around and I can hear them, kind of putting that negativity back into the space and in the universe. So I think it's important to remain positive, because you never know who's watching. And that negativity will kill your testimony and kill the message that you have about being positive, about taking time to stop and breathe, about, putting positivity in the atmosphere.
Right.
So you have to be mindful, because you might not be directly connected to somebody else, but your life and what others see of you can affect them as well.
Thank you so much. We have 2 comments, and then we're going to wrap up with some closing thoughts. Wendy says, we can't judge what we think we see, because things are never what they seem to be.
Never.
Another comment from Teresa Gray says, don't judge because you don't have the facts. How many times have we made a faulty assumption about something because it was presented to us, but we don't even understand why that person walked into that particular place or situation? We don't know what they went through to get out the house. We don't know what they went through to wake up. They may wake up in the morning and just don't want to do it, and let's let me put on what I have just to get in that space. But because they don't look like us, we do what? Push them away. We got to stop worrying about that top hanging fruit and start looking at that low hanging fruit, because those are the ones that need us. Because that top really needs us, because that's a whole facade itself. But we got to stop judging people based off of what we think we see when we don't know the whole story. So thank you so much, Aunt Teresa, for responding. We're going to close out, but I want everyone on this panel to close out. And as you guys are closing out, we're going to be sharing how they can reach you, how they can keep in touch with you. But before I do, I want to personally give you guys a hand clap. And no, Miss Jasmine is in the back. She and I have been texting. You guys are going to come on season 2, because it's a whole different setup. But we are bringing you guys back. Everybody on the show is coming back on season 2. So what are some closing thoughts and remarks that you would like to leave with our listening audience? I'm going to start with Derek, and then I'm going to go to Justin.
Thanks, Thomas. Again, thank you so much for having me. One last thought that I would like to leave is empty vessel doesn't serve anyone, and especially doesn't serve yourself. So you have to continuously pour into yourself. And so in that process of you maintaining your mental health and your emotional well-being, find time and space to find clarity, embrace those feelings and those experiences with your emotion and mental health, and then incorporate a recovery process. And so those are kind of 3 foundational tenets that I like to live by. You can follow more of that information and my experience with mental health and tools that I've learned along the way in the recovery process on IG on Breathe and Embrace. And then also you can subscribe to the blog website at breatheandembrace.com. And thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Justin.
I would just leave with that your book is still open, which means that you still have time to change the story if you need to. Stay positive in any aspect that you possibly can, because it makes a big difference in how you perceive your life to go forward.
Whew, thank you so much. Miss Tia, talk to us.
You might be the only piece of positivity that somebody else sees. So you need to make sure that you are putting that positivity back out into the world. All that peace and joy and happiness that you get from your family, turn that around and channel it back out, because God has given us a tremendous opportunity to share with others in community and out. And so we need to make sure that we're doing that to make the world a better place.
Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness, Dwayne.
You know, as we move towards trying to be more positive people, we first have to understand that sometimes we beat ourselves up. And when we beat ourselves up, it kind of stunts our path to positivity. I've said this before. Thomas knows I say this all the time. You got to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself.
Right.
Learn to forgive some of the things you did and just take those mistakes to move forward and try to find your joy. You deserve always to know that you deserve the best and you deserve peace, positivity, and happiness.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ms. Smith, talk to us.
Just on that road of positivity, just never stop trying to be the best version of yourself. I think sometimes we put in a little work here and there, and then we get complacent and we get busy, but never stop striving for that. And when you focus on your life in that way, you're continuously changing, you're continuously growing, and keeping a positive mind frame. So, seeing a therapist if you need to see a therapist, talking to friends and family when something's going on,
Right.
engaging in self care. So, just taking a bubble bath or not being on that work phone when you get off of work, just taking some time to yourself, focusing on yourself, not losing sight of what's important for your life so that you can be able to pour into others if that's what you're here to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Last but not least, Miss Davis, what are some final words that you would like to share to someone that is watching tonight?
You know, I know we're at the end of the show, but just always be your authentic self. It's like the panel has said earlier that people are watching you when you don't even realize it. So even if you're not feeling it, when you walk out your door or out of your office or wherever you're coming from, put a smile on your face, even if you're fighting through tears, because positivity is what's going to make us all be a better person. And I want to thank everybody for appearing tonight. I really enjoyed this conversation. Looking forward to seeing you in season 2.
Hey, there you go, Mom. All right. Thank you so much, Mom. I'm about to close out, Miss Jasmine. If you could put my contact information up as I'm closing out the show. I want to say this as we are closing out. The first thing is this: Move Mountains, Break Barriers Season 2 is coming up real soon. My great producer in the background has been working on some branding. I've been working on some things, so be ready for Season 2. It's coming bigger and better because I believe in you. And I believe that we can continue to move those mountains and break those barriers. But before I leave, I want to leave you guys with 3 letters. And it's called, and the word is art. ART. We're on this path of being positive, right? So let me give you what the word art means to me. Art is like a painter, right? You have the vision, you have all of this great stuff. You have to have a vision about what you want your masterpiece to be, right? So let me start with the letter A. Learn how to accept those things. Accept those things that you cannot change. Accept that relationship that had to go. Accept the fact that friendship had to leave. That's the letter A. Then let's go to the letter R. Recognize it. Once you accept it, you have to recognize that this is what it is. Don't go backwards. Recognize that situation for what it is. And that T word is transition. Because sometimes we got to stop getting stuck and transition and make that change. So as we are continuing to be positive, as we are continuing to navigate through 2021, continue to accept those things, recognize it, and make a transition, and you will continue to move those mountains and break those barriers. Thank you so much for watching this evening. I am Thomas Davis, owner of Limitless Possibilities and founder of Move Mountains, Break Barriers. Check us out for season 2. You guys see that are watching here in the DMV. I have a wonderful therapist on staff, Miss Smith. Check us out if you are willing to talk to someone in a safe space and in a safe atmosphere. Until then, I will see you soon, and I love you. Stay safe and wear a mask. Peace out.